welcome to those of you who just watched Towson take care of UNC Wilmington in Colonial action. We are in Conference USA, a big East Division battle tonight on CBS Sports Network. The second of 4 games tonight on CBS Sports Network. Chris Hassel joined by Mike O'Donnell, and you've missed the first 4.5 minutes of this game. But Charlotte is off to a hot start, 10-6 lead, and they've made everything from the floor so far, 4 for 4. And here are the starting lineups. The players on the floor right now. Jameer Young averaging 27 points per game over his last 2 games for Charlotte. Meantime, Western Kentucky, led by Davion McKnight, their do-it-all point guard, stat-stuffing sophomore, and Jamarion Sharp, the tallest player in college basketball. Our starting lineups brought to you by Sonic as we take a look at Ron Sanchez. The Charlotte 49ers said this team has been playing a lot better these last couple of weeks because they're getting to practice a little bit more. They had 3 straight games postponed early on in the season, and that's something that Western Kentucky is going through right now. They're playing a lot of games without the ability to practice because they're making up games. But they've won 5 straight, and Davion McKnight has the first 8 for the Hilltoppers.
Coach Stansberry called it an NBA schedule. So we got really light practices if we practice at all. Western Kentucky only plays about 6 guys per game. So heavy minutes means more rest when you're not playing in games.
There's Luka Vasic. And he gets it swatted out of bounds by Sharp. Averages 4.5 blocks per game. He's already the single season record holder for Western Kentucky. Blocks in a season, and old Charles Bassey was swatting things out of here for years in this gym.
Sharp has more blocks than 312 Division I teams by himself. That's how good of a shot blocking machine Jamarion Sharp is. It is absurd. If you don't pump fake against Sharp, you are done.
Here's Cameron Justice in open 3. And Western Kentucky is on top. These 2 teams played a couple of weeks ago. Western Kentucky started its 5-game winning streak at Charlotte. And the winner of tonight's game going to be 3rd place all by themselves in the East Division. The top 2 teams get the double bye as Jackson Threadgill hits the 3-pointer. A lot of potential for the sophomore from Concord, North Carolina.
Yeah, he was a top 20 player coming out of the state of North Carolina, top 50 shooting guard in the country. Big upside, Jackson Threadgill. Jarius Hamilton, a catch and shoot. Oh boy. Hamilton is ripping threes that deep. This Western Kentucky offense is going to be really hard to stop tonight.
Now, shooting has been the difference during this 5-game winning streak, shooting 43% from 3-point range. They were under 35% before that. Butler, no good on that 3-point attempt. And Western Kentucky has the ball and the lead 7.5 minutes in. Make that 6.5 minutes in. Hamilton might have gotten away with a charge. Justice drills the 3.
Part of this 5-game winning streak for the Hilltoppers is Cameron Justice and Luke Frampton have been lights out from the 3-point line. That's taken so much pressure off Davion McKnight and Jamarion Sharp in the half court.
Young turns it over. Already the 4th turnover of this game for the 49ers. And here's Hamilton with the drive. And that one will be, I believe, on the floor before the shot. As you look at Rick Stansberry, 6th season at Western Kentucky. And you know, talk about the field goal shooting and the 3-point shooting that's changed over this streak. The big thing he says is just the different lineups that he's been using, specifically the lineup he calls his little lineup. He takes Sharp off the floor, the tallest player in college basketball at 7'5", brings in Josh Anderson at 6'6".
And they spread you out along the perimeter. And it really puts a lot of pressure on opposing team front courts to guard the 3-point shot, backdoor cuts, flare screens, pin downs. It can be exhausting to guard that Hilltoppers little lineup, as he calls it.
They did count that basket. So Western Kentucky's made 7 consecutive shots from the floor after a 1-for-6 start. And it's an 8-0 run for the Hilltoppers. Here's Khalifa, the catch and shoot. And Justice, the rebound.
That's a good shot for Khalifa, though. He needs to take that every single time. If he's in rhythm, pick and pop type scenarios are going to be his bread and butter.
Frampton gets it. 8 straight makes for the Tops.
You don't often talk about Luke Frampton and being physical around the rim, but that's exactly what he did on that last play. That was good D by Frampton, getting over the top of that screen.
More contact at the hoop. Good defense from the Hilltoppers. And Josh Anderson out to Frampton in transition. Had it partially blocked by Marvin Cannon. And now Braswell in transition. He's their best three-point shooter at 45%. Young passed up the 3. Cannon the reverse.
Young is such a smart player. He's more than just a great scorer. That's #1 for Charlotte, Jameer Young, getting 19 a game, top 3 in Conference USA. But a really gifted passer. He almost gets 4 assists a game. As much as he scores, he's still really unselfish.
And McKnight inside Hamilton, back outside Frampton. Rarely misses those looks. Here's Khalifa to Young. Cannon was cutting right at him. And Justice the steal. He's got a one-on-one with Cannon. And scores it.
That was Cameron Justice making a veteran play in transition, knowing there was probably going to be contact, finishing on the weak side.
For those of you watching on CBSSports.com, our streaming coverage will conclude after the commercial break, but we'll continue on CBS Sports Network. You can find us by going to CBSSportsNetwork.com/channel finder. Western Kentucky has made 9 of their last 11 shots. They're on a 12-2 run and have a 23-15 lead over Charlotte in a very important game in the East Division tonight. The winner is going to be alone in 3rd. Both teams chasing Middle Tennessee and FAU. The top 2 teams in each division get a double bye to the quarterfinals of the Conference USA tournament in Frisco, Texas in 3 weeks. Chris Hassel joined by Mike O'Donnell. It was all Charlotte the first couple minutes. Western Kentucky has come roaring back.
Well, that's what we've seen from the Hilltoppers the last 5 games. Their offense has been terrific, especially with that little group that Coach Stansbury talks about, that smaller lineup. Spread you out, and they can get out and run a transition.
Cameron Justice and Davion McKnight each have 8 points to start this game. Justice has hit both of his 3s.
And it's Cameron Justice, not just in transition, but in the half court as well. And you saw him with that tough finish after a really great defensive play. That's a super senior just making a high IQ play in transition.
Well, Western Kentucky started 2-6 in Conference USA play. We knew that things would turn. We didn't know how long it would take, but we knew eventually this team would get it together and reel off some wins. And Mike, they're really not playing that much differently. During that 5-game winning streak, 4 of those games came down to the last possession. So really, it's just a bounce here or there going their way and playing with a lot more confidence as well.
But I do think that their shooting has drastically improved in those 5 wins. The 3-point shooting for Frampton and Justice, when those guys are hot, when they're clicking, it changes the entire half-court offense and their momentum.
And that's been the difference with that small lineup. Now you got a bunch of shooters out there spreading the floor as Frampton hits another. The 4th 3 of this game for Western Kentucky on 7 attempts.
It's exhausting to guard. I mean, that's just a little screen-to-screener action, pretty simple, but you're so worried about everybody can shoot the 3, you end up over-helping.
Western plays mostly 6 players for the majority of the game, but we will see a few others like Sherman Brashear, who just picked up that foul on a potential and one for Marvin Cannon. Isaiah Kozar is out there as well. Those two get sparing minutes every now and then.
That was a big-time cut by Marvin Cannon, the senior. That's the second cut he's made this half. Scoring cut that's been really, really solid.
Cannon averaging just 2 points a game, already with a couple of buckets in this one. And now 5 points as he converts the three-point play. Cannon checks out. Threadgill back in for the 49ers.
I love what Cannon just did. He pointed at himself like, me? I'm coming out after that play? You're going to take me out after an and one?
Yeah, he's been one of the better players for Charlotte in the first 10 minutes of this game. Here's Justice, created an opening again. A little long on that. Butler clears for the 49ers.
Justice overcompensated on that shot because Trapp Jr. did a great job closing out with high hands.
And with Young out of this game, we'll see where the offense comes from for Charlotte. Trapp long on the three, talking to some 49ers at the shoot-around. So they go as Trapp goes. Usually you look at what Trapp does in the game, and if he does a good job, they've got a chance to win it. If he's a no-show, they often get blown out in those kinds of games. Very important as Charlotte gets it back on the offensive foul.
And this is Josh Anderson, the senior. He's been doing this year after year after year. A highly intelligent scorer in semi-transition. Everybody talks about his athleticism, but I think his intelligence on how to play angles to get and ones is one of the better parts of his game.
And a chance to do just that. My bad. I thought it was offensive foul to call. Feel free to just correct me when you know I'm wrong.
I never want to correct you, though. I've never. That's the first time I've ever seen you be wrong about anything. Except when you thought I was a manager at UCF. That was a bit gut-wrenching, to say the least.
So the three-point play converted for Western Kentucky. And the Hilltoppers lead by 11. Fosich inside, got it blocked. 14 on the shot clock.
It's the second block for Sharp after the pump fake. And you know the best thing about Sharp's game is he's the best shot blocker in the country. He's very rarely in foul trouble, especially for a guy who's still learning how to play. That's really, really hard to coach, hard to teach. It almost has to be inherent.
Austin Butler with another triple. He's hit a couple of those in this game.
Charlotte did a nice job of blowing up that screening action for Frampton.
Anderson short. Here comes Jameer Young. 27 points he's averaged over the last 2 games, but he's only attempted 2 shots so far. Fosich fouled after the shot, and he's going to get 3 free throws as Sharp ran into him. 29-21, Western Kentucky on top here in the first half with 7:45 to go.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the Sonic Patty Melt. For a limited time, only at Sonic. By AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
71, Western Kentucky reached the Final Four, the first non-historically black Kentucky college to start 5 African-American players. Finished that season ranked 7th in the country. Lost to Villanova in double overtime in that Final Four. The Lady Toppers have also been to the Final Four. And so have the Charlotte 49ers. They honored a team that went to the Final Four just a few weeks ago. 49ers went to the Final Four in 1977. 29-21 Western Kentucky, the 8-point lead here with 7:45 to go in the first half. Chris Hassel and Mike O'Donnell with you as we continue to celebrate Black History Month here at CBS Sports. And 3 free throws coming for Luka Vasic after he was fouled by Jamarion Sharp. Missing on the first.
This is something that Western Kentucky is known for, is not putting teams on the free throw line, not fouling. They are historically one of the best teams in the country in fewest fouls committed. They play hard without foul.
That's a rarity. Very rare do you see a guy go to the line for 3 and miss all 3. And that one hurts for Charlotte. Down by 8 here. As underdogs at Western Kentucky. Hilltoppers playing their best basketball of the season. 5 consecutive wins. Anderson driving on Threadgill. And that's going to be an offensive goaltending as McKnight grabbed the rim.
Well, he actually grabbed the net, pulled it down just a little bit. And that time I will correct you. Yes. I got your back.
Can't make contact with that net right there. Pulled it down, and ball was probably going to go in anyway. Didn't need to do that. Cost him a couple of points. Western Kentucky has done a great job taking care of the basketball. Still do not have a turnover in this game as Butler hits his 3rd 3.
Big fan of Austin Butler's game, the transfer from Holy Cross. Started every game of his career at Holy Cross except for 9 games. Really led Holy Cross in rebounds, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, minutes and steals. Great get in the transfer portal by Coach Ron Sanchez.
McKnight, the strong drive, and he's into double figures with 10. He's hit all 5 of his shots from the floor.
I'm telling you, if this is your first time watching Davion McKnight, you're missing out on one of the best point guards and most underappreciated point guards in college basketball. 8th in the country in assists, and just such a great finisher around the rim.
Butler, tough shot. Vasic got smoked. And that's going to be a foul on Western Kentucky. Going to get Josh Anderson for the push.
Butler takes that bad shot because he's worried about Sharp blocking it. And we talk about how great of a shot blocker
Watch how
Sharp
far
is.
He takes this one out to all the way to the side to try to get it over the top.
But Sharp has that taco fall type ability of making you take shots that you don't practice. That's one of the great things about his skill set and timing as a shot blocker is he doesn't get full credit enough. The team does, but individually he doesn't.
And Butler using the head fake a few more times. Got it blocked again by Sharp with 11 on the shot clock.
Would you try if you were in there one-on-one? I'm not trying that.
I would try to fool
that
him.
Out.
Yeah, I'd probably shoot it over the top of my head or something, hoping that he wouldn't get it.
Well, you got a long way to go.
I don't think I'm using pump fakes,
basketball skills.
I mean, I'm not letting him gather and just go right over the top of me. And he's a guy that doesn't have to jump either. Six minutes left in this first half. McKnight tips it. Justice trying to run it down and almost took out the saxophone.
How smart of a play was that from McKnight, knowing that if he would have tipped it up, he may not have gotten it. But the fact that he tipped it into the backcourt gave his teammate Justice a chance to get it. That's great hustle by Justice. He almost caught it.
Yeah, face to face with the trumpet player. Just missed the CBS camera person.
You got to take a charge down there. Come on.
That was a nice chest bump. Khalifa. A line drive shot. Charlotte led this game 8-2 right off the jump. But turnovers have slowed them down a little bit. And Western Kentucky's been shooting the heck out of the basketball. Hamilton.
Any step back jumper is just so pure, in my opinion. It's a lost art. so difficult to guard. Nice cut, nice pass.
And Butler finishes with Sharp charging in and committing the late foul. Butler was hit on top of the head, and the whistle was late.
It looked inadvertent, as if Sharp just dropped his arms down from trying to block the shot. Oh, that's absolutely a foul, and that's his. There's potential. Initially on that review, I said that's potential of looking at a flagrant type situation, but I think referees are saying because he went for the basketball and on top of the head, gonna let it slide.
And that's 2 fouls on Sharp. Boy, Charlotte is way off at the line. 1 for 5 in this first half at the free throw line. Hamilton looking to pass and finds Justice. Now around the horn they go. Anderson a little step back. And Butler the rebound. Well, Young hasn't done much offensively so far. Just 2 points on 2 shots. And a wild one there, but Khalifa cleans it up.
If he does that more and just adds 8% to his three-point shooting percentage, he is going to be virtually unstoppable. He'll be one of the best players in Conference USA.
Right.
The more active he is on the offensive glass, the better for Charlotte.
Totally agree. 27% right now. If he gets that to 35, oh boy. Ooh, that's an unforced error there. And the first turnover of this game for Western Kentucky, over 15 minutes in. Anderson got his hand on it. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Western Kentucky outscoring Charlotte 8-0 in points off as Khalifa drives and finishes.
I'm telling you right now, redshirt freshman Ali Khalifa is going to be something special. 6'11", floor stretching big. Oh, watch out.
Double team on McKnight. They said that ball was touched by a Charlotte player, so not a double dribble. Frampton now driving on Threadgill, and Threadgill can't believe he's whistled for the foul.
It's Ali Khalifa, the redshirt freshman with 7 points, gets the offensive rebound. He's got Charlotte back within 3. Good little cut, stay with us.
Three-point lead for the Hilltoppers here late in the first half. Coming up on AT&T at the half. Brent Stover running point. He's got Renee Montgomery, Shelvin Mack, and John Rothstein. Back in the studio, going to get you caught up with all the action in college basketball, plus first half stats and highlights. All coming up on AT&T at the half. Austin Butler has been playing solid basketball for the Charlotte 49ers. He has 11 points to lead all scorers and has Charlotte right back in this thing.
And the Holy Cross transfer really picking up for the fact that Jameer Young has not been able to not just score, but get up a lot of shots. You need those secondary type players to step up when you've got one of the best scorers in Conference USA struggling so far in the first half.
Charlotte was down by 11 points at the 8:40 mark. But they found success of late.
Well, one thing that's helped them chip back in the lead is second chance opportunities. They have 7 second chance points in the first half. That's crashing the offensive glass and lack of boxing out by the Hilltoppers. That's one thing they have to be careful of when they do that smaller lineup. You have to box out and gain rebound.
Luke Frampton with one more at the free throw line. Frampton was really outspoken during that 5-game losing streak, really taking it upon himself to lead the team. He said, we've got to stay together now more than ever. I wouldn't want to go to war with anybody else. Now Western looking for its 6th straight win.
That's what you want from your senior, right? That's what you need, senior leadership. And Frampton, his game stepped up too. He started the season 1 of 19 from 3. He's shooting over 45% in the last 23 games, been locked in.
Hamilton, he's another guy who was really quiet during that losing skid. Not anymore. 10 in this game. He's hit 4 of his 5 shots.
When you watch him on film, he'll have spurts of looking like one of the best scorers in Conference USA. He just goes quiet for too long of periods.
5 quick points out of that break for Western Kentucky. The lead back up to 8. Khalifa guarded by Hamilton, fouled on the way up, and he'll get a couple of shots. Charlotte just 1 for 5 at the line in this first half. Jamarion Sharp on the bench for Western Kentucky. He has 2 fouls.
And this young man, Ali Khalifa, is going to be really, really good. We talked about how, as the center, 6'11", he leads Conference USA in assist to turnover ratio. He has the fewest turnovers of any Conference USA starter, regardless of position. Played for the NBA Global Academy in Australia. He's from Alexandria, Egypt. And the student section at Charlotte loves Khalifa. They go crazy for him every time he makes a play. In fact, there are 2 students that actually, in Charlotte, are from the same area of Egypt that Ollie's from. And they come and they wave the Egyptian flag at every game, and they've become best friends. Those, the 3 of them, the 2 Egyptian Charlotte students and Ali have become best friends since the basketball season has started. Really cool story and something to watch for his progress in Charlotte and Conference USA in the years to come.
Sits down with 9 points as Justice cranks again.
And you saw Frampton smiling at Justice saying, hey, let's go. When those 2 guys are locked in from the perimeter, this team is so dangerous in the half-court offense.
Young has been frustrated so far, just 1 of 4 from the floor. Butler, the skip pass. That 3 way long from Isaiah Folks. And Anderson used that jab step. Final 100 seconds of this first half. Hamilton fading away. Young runs it down and now pushing. Blocked by McKnight. Hamilton saves it into Butler. Shot clock reset. Butler takes it, and that's a blocking foul.
Check this block out by McKnight. Trailing the defense. More than just a passer, more than a scorer. Big time show by McKnight.
McKnight with 10 points. He's made all 5 of his shots from the floor, and a nice block as well as Austin Butler heads to the line for a couple. CBS Sports Network and Athletes Unlimited bring you a basketball league like no other. Watch as the top women athletes square off in a high-stakes competition where they call the shots. It's Athletes Unlimited Basketball tomorrow night, 11:30 Eastern. Western Kentucky shooting 57% from the floor, 55% from deep. And McKnight hits again. 6 for 6 from the floor. McKnight with 13. And Young finally gets a little bit of a road roll. Shakes his head a little bit because it has been a frustrating first half. Just 4 points for Young, who was averaging 27 points over his last 2 games. And now the shot clock off for the Hilltoppers. Late whistle as Folks He's ready for a run out.
There's plenty of contact on that foul. I understand why the whistle was made. I'm just shocked it was that late.
That was one of those where, okay, I'm not going to call it. Oh, he's going to get the ball. I got to call it.
Yeah, that's tons of contact. That's an easy call to make.
And now 15.7 to go in the first half. Don't forget AT&T at the half coming up. Busy night at college basketball. Brent Stover and the gang have you covered. And they had a foul to give even after that first foul on folks. So that's team foul number 6.
And I like that by Charlotte, is you just disrupt McKnight, you disrupt the offense that was about to be run. If you got an extra foul, use it. Anytime you can throw a team that's hot from the perimeter off in any stretch of the imagination, as long as the analytics allow, you should take advantage of those situations.
What do you want taking the last shot here this first half?
Well, you know the two guys you have to watch for are Justice and Frampton, and they're going to sit on opposite ends of each other. Both are they're in the left and right corner. That's who McKnight's going to look for.
McKnight will take it. A perfect first half for Davion McKnight. 7 for 7 and a game high 16.
Well, if you're not going to use Frampton or Justice, use them as decoys. Defense is hugging up on the shooters. McKnight rises up and absolutely rips a 3 to go into halftime.
And now Western Kentucky enjoying their largest lead of this game. 11-point lead at the break. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, a big game in the Conference USA East Division. Both teams looking for that double bye. Oh, Western Kentucky is sizzling. They brought a 5-game winning streak into this one, and they shoot 60% in the first half to build an 11-point lead on Charlotte. Chris Hassel with Mike O'Donnell, and Olympics are going on right now, right? Winter Olympics. That was a perfect first half for Davion McKnight. Hit all 7 shots from the floor.
It wasn't just, hey, I'm getting to the rim, I'm going to be in the mid-range. He did everything in the first half. You just said it. A perfect 7 for 7 from the field. 16 first half points. Everybody was so worried about Frampton and Justice getting hot from 3. It was Justice that was catching him from the perimeter.
Ali Khalifa, 9 points for Charlotte. He had a spark there where he got Charlotte back within 3.
And with Jameer Young only with 4 points in the first half, Khalifa was really good on the offensive end, more known as a passer, was great attacking the rim.
Sometimes it's as simple as the shooting percentages. 60% from the floor in that first half for Western Kentucky, 8 of 13 from 3. And Jameer Young had a rough first half for Charlotte, and that continues with an air ball to start the second half. He's 2 for 7 from the floor. McKnight finally misses. Now 7 for 8. What does Charlotte have to do to get back in this game?
Well, it starts defensively. You have to guard the 3-point shot, right? And that sounds very easy, but you need to do a better job of on-ball defense and slowing down McKnight from distributing the basketball. Secondly, on the offensive end, I don't think they've done a good enough job attacking the rim. I think Charlotte's offense is better when they're getting to the free throw line, drawing fouls.
How about that? They got Young on the baseline block.
Don't do that.
Low area there, short corner, and able to get his second bucket of this game.
They'll post Young. He likes to spin baseline. That's a set design play by Coach Ron Sanchez.
And now Khalifa was out there hedging Justice, who was 3 for 4 from deep in that first half.
That was Justice pulling Khalifa on that ball screen, because Khalifa doesn't want to be out there that far. Watch this spin, set design play. Young is great at manipulating defenses one-on-one in the post. He doesn't do it a lot. Might do it 1 or 2 times a game for a quick bucket.
Second of our quadruple header tonight on CBS Sports Network. You saw Towson beat UNC Wilmington earlier. Up next, big one of the Big East, Creighton and DePaul, and then Nevada, San Jose State. Young missed the dunk. Justice came down to contest, and no whistle. Western Kentucky basketball, and the frustrating night continues for Young.
And all you need to do if you're Jahmir Young is just smile after that. He made a great defensive play and just gets a little Grant Hill Sprite on the rim.
What?
Remember the Grant Hill drink Sprite commercial? He gets stuffed to the rim.
Man, that's an old ref. That's like 25 years old.
Almost 37 years old, Chris.
Yeah, you're younger than me. A foul on Charlotte. It's on Butler, who leads the 49ers with 13 points. And Jarius Hamilton to the free throw line for the Hilltoppers. Hamilton now has 11.
Coach Stansberry talked to us. He really wants a lot more from Hamilton. They feel when he gets going, takes pressure off of Frampton, Justice, and McKnight. He becomes really that X-factor scorer. Sounds a little bit cliche, but he's such a mismatched nightmare for opposing team scatter reports because of ability to play inside and out.
Frampton almost came up with the steal. Now for a limited time at Sonic, get the patty melt for just $3.99. Try one for half price when you order on the Sonic app. It's Clyde Trapp into the scorer's book. A scoreless first half. Averages 9 on the season. Kind of goes along with what the Charlotte people were telling us earlier. When he doesn't show up, they don't win. See if he shows up here in the second half as Frampton turns it over. Braswell checking out. He's 0 for 3 from the floor in this one.
Keep an eye on the matchup. Jamarion Sharp and Ali Khalifa. They've been battling all night long. It's been real physical. They're trying to go inside of him right there.
Khalifa has 3 fouls. Sharp has 2. Man. Butler got the great pass from Young.
That was an absurd thread the needle like pass from Jahmir Young. Whoa, that's pretty.
And now McKnight draws the foul. 2 free throws coming for Davion.
It's just not many guys that can split a ball screen stopping on a dime like Davion McKnight. His shiftiness, his change of speed, change of pace. He's a lefty, but he got similar change of pace. Here's the pass by Young. You want to talk about a narrow window of opportunity to get that pass through. Smooth.
McKnight, the only player in college basketball with this particular stat line. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals a game. McKnight, the only one that has those averages.
Yeah, and last game coming off a big-time performance. Beating Southern Miss, had 26 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. And he was 8 of 10 from the free throw line. The reason why that's so important is it's not just about the points, but for a team like Western Kentucky who only plays 8 guys, getting to the free throw line acts as mini timeouts for Coach Stansberry and this squad to catch their breath.
That one bounces out to Threadgill. And with Khalifa out there on the wing, it draws Sharp out. And now Young, his first good look.
That was a great pass by Clyde Trapp. Getting into the paint. We really haven't seen that from Charlotte very often, unless it's been a backdoor cut, is dribble penetration in the paint. Good things happen when you do that.
And here come the 49ers. Trapp lays it out. It won't go down, but it ends up working out because they'll have a chance at 3. Young has it working.
You know what I love about Jahmir Young is how coachable he is. He did not have a good first half by his standards at all. You have to remember, Land, 4 points. This is a kid who averages 19 a game. We're talking with Coach Sanchez about Jahmir Young. He says I know I can coach him when he's having bad moments in games. He listens, he absorbs, he wants to be coached. And when your best player is your best scorer and your most coachable player, good things can happen.
And here come the 49ers on a 6-0 run within 3. Nearly double-digit underdogs tonight here at Western Kentucky after losing at home by 19 to the Hilltoppers a couple of weeks ago. And Hamilton ups the lead to 6.
How good has Jarius Hamilton been? He's got 15 points tonight.
And it seems like he's the guy every time Charlotte gets within a bucket. He comes back with that big shot. Braswell, their good three-point shooter. Khalifa had it poked away by McKnight. And here's Hamilton. Justice able to save it in the corner. And here's Hamilton. He's feeling it right now. Short on that turnaround.
Bad shot. Coach Stansbury puts his head down, shakes his head because that's a bad shot. Fadeaway jumper on the baseline. Low percentage.
But he was feeling it, Mikey.
Nah, it doesn't matter. Come
Khalifa
on.
blocked by Frampton.
What?
Yeah, what? Frampton with a block. Don't bring it in there on Luke Frampton. Justice wildly throws it off the backboard, and it's tipped out of bounds by Sharp. Charlotte basketball, and oh my goodness, Khalifa is bleeding from the noggin. Right above the right eye, Khalifa got cut. And I'm not a doctor, but he might need some attention. Look at the block by Frampton out of nowhere. Yeah, they found a little dirt, rubbed it on Ali Khalifa, wrapped him up. He should be good to go after he got clocked right above the right eye by the long arms of Jamarion Sharp.
And took that right elbow right above the right eye.
And then he got a little hand in the face too. So he gets wrapped up by the training staff. And hopefully we'll see him back out there in just a minute. Davion McKnight, the subject of our Reese's player profile. He was 7 for 7 in the first half. He has 18 points. I mentioned that stat line. He's the only player in the NCAA averaging 15, 5, 6, and 2 steals a game. And he's stuffing it tonight as well.
And I've watched plenty of film on point guards all throughout the country in this season, and I really believe that Davion McKnight might be the most underappreciated point guard in college basketball. 8th in the nation in assists, and just one of the most crafty finishers and scorers within 10 feet in all of college basketball.
The lead is 6 for Western Kentucky, under 15 minutes to go. A little bit more flow to this game here in the second half compared to the first. Luka Vasic is out there for Charlotte with Khalifa on the bench. Threadgill short on that. The timing a little bit off on the skip pass.
Charlotte has more rhythm because Jameer Young's been more active and aggressive on the offensive end. I mean, they go as he goes. That's the 3rd best scorer in Conference USA for a reason. He knows how to get his buckets.
8 of his 12 points in this second half. Anderson in and out, and the rebound to Young. And what a pass from Young. Trap misses that, but just a fireball of a pass from Young.
He's had a couple dimes tonight that have just been absolutely ridiculous and on point. We talk about his scoring, but really got a fantastic vision.
And McKnight, the reverse, no good. And here comes Young. Does not have numbers. Here's Trap. Goes by Sharp and lays it in.
And that was a discombobulated transition defensive sequence for Western Kentucky. And Charlotte got 2 paint touches and multiple driving kicks and had the Hilltoppers in complete confusion in semi-transition.
Western Kentucky hasn't scored in 3 minutes. They've missed their last 4 shots. Anderson now with 5 on the shot clock. Justice has to launch. And Butler clears the board for the 49ers. And Young the 3. Off the mark. McKnight runs it down and now tries to go past Butler. Watches him sail by. What a move.
Western Kentucky is the 8th most efficient transition offense team in the country per Synergy Sports because of plays like that. They are so good at finishing in transition.
And they're outscoring Charlotte 7-0 in fast break points in this game. McKnight now has 20, his 8th 20-point game this season.
And he's having to chase Jameer Young around as well. McKnight had that burst of speed and then the body control. He's got such great touch with the left.
Charlotte led this game 8-2, but Western Kentucky quickly took the lead early in this game. And they've led by anywhere from 3 to 11 points.
Oh no, what a pass from Justice. The no-look left with the offhand.
Yeah, we're seeing these guys who are quote-unquote three-point shooters, Justice, Frampton, doing other things. Frampton had that big block, Justice the great pass. Trap takes the 3, too strong, and Hamilton the board. Western Kentucky up 8 with the basketball. Anderson tried to blow by. And here's Justice. Got hit on the head and then runs into our cameraman. And he'll go to the free throw line on the other side.
When you realize your vision can be used to shift the defense, your game is changed forever. And when you're throwing no-look dimes like this, you're changing me forever. That is delicious.
Western Kentucky with an 8-point lead on Charlotte, 11:22 to go in the second of our quadruple header tonight. Hey, watch the best hoops players from historically black colleges and universities go head-to-head in the inaugural HBCU All-Star Game live from New Orleans. It's Sunday, April 3rd at 4 Eastern on CBS and streaming live on Paramount+.
Big fan of MJ Randolph's game. He's got FAMU sitting in first place in the East Division of the SWAC. This kid who put 27 on Kansas State, had 22 on that great Cincinnati Bearcats defense. Randolph's the truth, man. He's tough.
Looking forward to that Final Four weekend. We're here at the home of the Hilltoppers. Mike O'Donnell, Chris Hassel with you. There's Big Red, or as Jamarion Sharp calls him, Little Red, because he's so much littler than 7'5" Jamarion Sharp.
I got that. I got that. Very, very good by you.
He seriously calls him that. I didn't just make it up.
I have never doubted you in anything in my life, and you're over here. It's been all game long you're doubting me here.
Justice makes it a 9-point game. He has 12. Young has 8 points in this second half for Charlotte. They got back within a couple of buckets, and Young was the culprit, but they need to find him more open looks from outside.
I'd keep attacking the rim here. This is the small lineup for Western Kentucky. See if you can get something on the inside. There they go.
That's what they're doing. Khalifa open outside. Hey, that's his second 3 of the game.
Is going to be a difference maker. He's got so much Nikola Jokic in his game. If he's knocking down threes, just becomes so difficult to scout against.
Yeah, and that's not a headband either, like Jokic wears. That's a medical bandage after he got cut above the eye on an elbow, inadvertent elbow from Jamarion Sharp a little bit earlier. 6-point game. Charlotte just keeps staying within shouting distance. Hamilton steps it back, got it partially deflected as the shot clock expires, but Charlotte had the ball before the expiration. Trap draws the foul. They get justice for that.
You and I talked about when Khalifa becomes around 35% from three, I'm not sure how you prepare for this kind of offense. The best assist to turnover ratio of any player in Conference USA as the point center at 6'11", but he shoots less than 30% from three. So he's 35, 36% from three. I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Well, in this game, 2 for 3 from outside as Young takes it and lays it in. Really no contest there from Hamilton.
They're worried about fouling. You can't have this team get in foul trouble. You just can't. And if you're Charlotte, you have to take advantage of that. You know that Western Kentucky, they're not going to substitute, so they can't get in foul trouble. Attack the rim.
Anderson to Frampton. Shot clock to 5. Anderson gonna have to do something. He'll try to create. Josh Anderson had it stripped at the buzzer.
He didn't know.
Shot clock violation.
He didn't know. And even though initially we're going to say that's his fault, is that Josh Anderson's fault? Cameron Justice and Luke Frampton have to be screaming at Josh Anderson about the shot clock.
Khalifa had it deflected. Here's Young. Charlotte a chance to crawl closer, and they do. Young makes it a 2-point game. Western Kentucky has led by 11 multiple times in this game, including at the 18:30 mark of this second half. But Charlotte on a 7-0 run. And this is as close as they've been since the first half. Jahmir Young with 16. Got ourselves another good one in Conference USA play. 59-57 Western Kentucky the lead as we take a look at the game summary brought to you by AT&T 5G and Charlotte controlling the offensive glass.
It's a 9-1 offensive rebounding advantage, but it's also led to 13 second chance points. Western Kentucky has zero second chance points, and Charlotte has also dominated the paint. 30 points in the paint for the 49ers.
They're on a 7-0 run. Davion McKnight had that huge first half. Was 7 of 7 from the floor, had a big block, beat the first half buzz with the shot. He's been somewhat quiet though in the second half. And Jahmir Young is taking over for Charlotte.
Yeah, you sense a renewed urgency from Jahmir Young. 16 points after he only had 4 in the first half. He's also got 9 boards and 4 assists. Has done everything for Charlotte in the second half to bring them back.
Young with 12 of his 16 points in the second half. McKnight has only made 1 of 3 shots in the second half after that 7 for 7 start from the floor.
And that's the matchup to watch because they're guarding each other too. Young and McKnight going one-on-one head-to-head. Number 1 in green, Jahmir Young, number 20 in white, Davion McKnight. That is the matchup.
This is as close as it's been since the 13:48 mark of the first half when it was 14-13 Western Kentucky. McKnight met by Khalifa. There's a whistle before that tip in. And that's going to be a foul on Khalifa. Fourth foul on Khalifa, who has that bandage after being cut above the right eye. And so looks like he's going to have to take a seat.
Watch this play. This is a ghost screen from Frampton. He comes up like he's setting a pick and roll, but he just runs right past it. Puts Charlotte in a state of confusion, allows McKnight to get downhill. Coach Stansbury uses that play often coming out of timeouts.
So McKnight's going to have 2 shots at the line. Mike, how does the Charlotte offense change with Khalifa on the bench?
Well, more focus and attention goes to Jahmir Young and playmaking. There's plenty of shooters on the perimeter for Charlotte, but ultimately it comes down to, are you running action for Young, putting him in spots to be one-on-one and take advantage of his offensive skill set?
McKnight leads all scorers with 22 points.
A little token pressure from the Hilltoppers. Oh, they're in that 1-3-1 zone.
And they got a deflection, but Braswell runs it down. And here's Threadgill over to Young. And now in the middle of that zone trap, missed it over the top of Sharp.
But that's where you want to get the ball, against that zone. Just try to get it around the free throw line. It sucks multiple defenders to the ball.
Each time Charlotte has drawn close, Western Kentucky has had an answer. Justice drives, wild shot, draws the foul.
Justice sold that exceptionally well. I didn't think there was that much contact. I thought he did a fantastic job of selling a little bit of contact. It's a great drive. It's the right drive to make. You got an open lane. That's good defense. That's a great sell.
And so Justice is going to get 2 free throws, closing in on his average. And Austin Butler comes back in. 15 points for Charlotte. 3-point threat. He's made 3 of his 4 3-pointers tonight.
He's been really quiet in the second half. He had a great first half and really just kind of slowed down his production, looking for points and opportunities in the second half.
A couple of misses there for a really good free throw shooter.
That 1-3-1 zone again, back-to-back possessions of zone.
And now right in the middle of that zone again, it's Braswell.
That's a smooth jumper. When you're full sprint to get in position and then being able to turn your body and rip a jumper mid-range. Tough from Braswell.
One lead down to 2 once more. A hedge from Fosich, and Sharp gets the lob and hammers it. Young weaving his way. Justice with the deflection and Sharp the steal. McKnight made Braswell fall. Justice, yes! Oh, yes! Timeout, Charlotte.
I don't know what to say. That was insane. Wow, McKnight. Justice throwing it up to the big fella. And then puts him on the deck for the 3. Don't go anywhere. This is great.
Western Kentucky using a lob dunk and a transition 3 to put 5 quick points on the board and up a 2-point lead to 7 with 7:13 to play in this one. And here are the stakes tonight. The winner moves into 3rd place by themselves in the East Division. The top 2 teams get a double bye to the quarterfinals. Mike, Middle Tennessee already won tonight. FAU lost. So the winner of this game going to be within a game of FAU, and Western Kentucky would be within a half game of the FAU Owls for that 2nd place spot and that crucial double bye in the tournament, which is in 3 weeks.
How about the job Coach McDevitt has done in Middle Tennessee?
In Middle Tennessee, one of those teams that's been to the tournament and won games of late in Conference USA. But Western Kentucky and Charlotte, it's been a minute. Rick Stansbury has not been there as the coach of Western Kentucky. It's been nearly 10 years since the Hilltoppers got there. Charlotte hasn't been there in over 15 years, and it's stunning to see that Louisiana Tech hasn't been there since 1991. Charlotte with the basketball, down by 7. They have been feisty in this game, not letting Western Kentucky run away with it, but they just haven't been able to get over the hump. As close as they've been is 2 since an early lead in the first 5 minutes of this game. Middle of that zone again, and Young hits it.
You're just in a place, if you're Charlotte, where if you're hoping to just trade buckets of Western Kentucky, you're never going to get over the hump. Because, like it or not, the Hilltoppers are hot. They've been hot for the last 5 games, and they're staying hot from the perimeter.
Young clears the board as Western goes for their 6th straight win. Only hotter team in Conference USA play, North Texas. Double-digit win streak. Braswell open 3. Too strong. Boy, that's a perfect look for a 45% three-point shooter.
It's good offense, right? You have to live with that. That's a virtual assist, right? It's called a missed assist. It's great passes that lead to good shots that are just missed, and Coach Sanchez actually charts those in practice and games.
Sharp pulled down the lob. He's not as good when he pulls it down and then goes back up with it. And Young finds Braswell. Air ball. Wow, he is off tonight. And he was off last game as well. 0 for 3 from the floor in their loss at Middle Tennessee over the weekend. Justice lobs it for Sharp. I think his fingertips almost hit the shot clock. There's Young over the top of Sharp, but missed it. And McKnight pushing again. Justice trailing into a 3. No good. And Vasic the board.
That shot by Justice was, I'm a little tired. I'm kind of open for 3. I'm just going to let it go. I've done that before. I know exactly why he took that shot.
Here's Trapp. Boy, he's getting hounded by Justice. And now frustrated. He gets bumped to the deck and a foul on Cameron Justice. Justice with the alley-oop assist to Jamarion Sharp.
And he has been doing that all game long. You just have to throw it up anywhere within, I don't know, 8 feet around the rim, and Sharp's going to take care of it. That's Justice's 7th assist tonight to go along with 15 points. He's been great.
His 3rd personal foul. Vasic, man, he rushed that. Maybe got too far under the hoop, but I guess he was pushed.
That's a bad call.
These fans don't like it.
Yeah, that should have been out on Young.
And it's Charlotte basketball, 16 on the shot clock. 4:44 to go. Rick Stansbury looking over the notes. Here's Vasic. He got it in good position. I think he wanted to draw the foul, and he was too far under the hoop. There's Butler left open.
Young is just so good. He's just an absolute hooper. He knows how to play. He understands angles. Not afraid to make the winning play, not just to play for himself.
Remember how quiet he was in the first half? The final minute of the first half, he had 2 points.
Yeah.
He's got 18, 11, and 6
18
in this game.
points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Not a bad game.
Oh, Anderson. Wow. Woo! He turned Butler around. Now Western zoning it up again. Butler to Young. Back to Butler, who's open. Short arm. Got it back, though, on the tap from Khalifa. Jackson Threadgill got it blocked by Sharp. How'd you like to try to shoot a 3 over a 7'5" guy coming at you?
If you don't pump fake for Sharp, you're done. It's over.
McKnight double clutches, and it's stolen. Here comes Young. Steps through, drops it off, and the bucket from Butler.
The winning play by Jameer Young again. We know about his scoring ability, but this dude is just a winner.
Don't go anywhere. Top of the hour. We're out to the Big East. Creighton, a bubble team right now. One of Jerry Palm's last teams in the tournament as an 11 seed at DePaul as a slight underdog. That is a win the Blue Jays need tonight. Coming up, top of the hour. Justice falls down. And a timeout called by Rick Stansbury with 2:53 to go. This is a good game. You better stay with us because we got some back and forth action.
We got a little stop and one Rucker Park in your face. Block party. Sharp.
Western Kentucky basketball with 5 on the shot clock and a 5-point lead on Charlotte. Coming up next, gonna take you to the Windy City for more hardwood as DePaul hosts Creighton, followed by Nevada battling the San Jose State Spartans. A midnight Eastern time tip. Gotta love it. Catch all the action right here on CBS Sports Network. A huge game for Creighton at DePaul at the top of the hour. The net ranking is not great, 71, but they've got some good wins. More importantly, they don't have really bad losses.
Yeah, you and I were looking at this resume before the game and said, that's a great resume if your 2 bad losses are Arizona State and Butler. If you haven't watched Creighton play, stay tuned to watch. They've got a great point guard, Ryan Nembhard, freshman. He's a brother of Andrew Nembhard of Gonzaga, who's might be the best point guard in the country. Nembhard of Creighton, the younger brother, Ryan, getting 11 points, 4 assists a game. Really, really good point guard to watch.
And can't afford a loss tonight right now on the 11 line for Jerry Palm. That one again coming up top of the hour under Ron Sanchez. The 49ers 5-2 this season in games decided by 5 or less. On the other hand, Rick Stansbury and his Hilltoppers 2-5 this season in games decided by 5 or less. And a lot of those losses came during that 5-game losing skid, when 4 of those losses happened in the final seconds. But that's a great play right out of the timeout. Drew it up perfectly to Frampton, and it's a 7-point lead again.
That was Frampton just making a read, just outsmarting Butler.
Here's Khalifa in with those 4 fouls. And now Young. Back to Khalifa, who's open. He had made a couple of those earlier, not this time.
But that's a deadly combination if he's knocking down threes, because there's not much you can do in that pick and pop scenario. You're so worried about Young. When Khalifa pops, he's going to be open.
McKnight zigzagging. Justice for 3. And it's his 2nd game in a row with 6 3-pointers. And may that be the dagger. Western going for their 6th straight win. Trap in the corner, way short. Sharp the board. Final 95 seconds.
Charlotte looks tired. For the first time this game, Charlotte looks a little bit tired. You can tell on that shot and the way they ran back on defense. Feels as if they're running out of gas.
Well, Western Kentucky started this winning streak at Charlotte a couple of weeks ago. And they're looking for their 6th straight and a season sweep of the 49ers if they can close it out here in the final minute 5. Young misses, Sharp the board. And we're now under a minute and a 10-point deficit for the 49ers. Western Kentucky won at Charlotte by 19. Then they went at Old Dominion, won by 17. Beat FAU on this floor, an FAU team that was 1st in this division when they came in here. And then went on the road again, beat UTSA by 6, beat Southern Miss by 10. And now might be another double-digit victory for the Hilltoppers, who, hey, even when they were 2-6 in conference play, you knew that this was going to be the team come tournament time, come March. This is the team you don't want to see in Frisco at the Conference USA tournament.
Yeah, Western Kentucky is probably the best 15-11 team in college basketball. You mentioned those close games. They lost to Minnesota by 4, Louisiana Tech by 1, North Texas by 5. But they got double-digit wins over Louisville and Ole Miss.
And they're going to be within a half game of the 2nd spot in the division. And the top 2 in each division get a double bye to the quarterfinals. It's a Western Kentucky program that has made the Conference USA championship game each of the last 3 seasons. And each of the last 3 seasons, they've come up short in that championship game.
Well, everybody's going to talk about Louisiana Tech and North Texas and UAB when you're talking about the Conference USA tournament. But the most dangerous team right now is Western Kentucky. From an individual standpoint, 1 through 6, as talented, if not the most talented team in Conference USA. When you're thinking, what does it look like for Conference USA to be a multi-big league? If North Texas keeps winning, that net stays really high. Possibility of a team like Western Kentucky winning it, you never know, Chris.
North Texas won their 11th straight game tonight at FAU. The Mean Green will go to UAB this weekend. And Western Kentucky has a winning streak of their own. A 6th straight win. And they'll host Old Dominion here on Saturday. 77-67. The Hilltoppers are red hot. Winners of 6 in a row.
This was an offensive masterpiece for Western Kentucky. Particularly Cameron Justice and Davion McKnight were big time. Justice, 20 points, 7 assists. McKnight had 22, was 8-11 from the field. Those two guys were fantastic for the Hilltoppers tonight.
And they move within a half game of FAU for 2nd place in the East, and 2 games behind Middle Tennessee for 1st. But really, it's more important to be in the top 2 than it is to win your division in Conference USA. Sure, that's a feather in your cap, a division winner, but really what it's all about is getting that double bye, getting you set up for a run in the Conference USA tournament. And Western Kentucky is playing the best basketball of anybody in the East Division. Jamarion Sharp and company win by 10. We're back in a minute. Western Kentucky wins their 6th straight game, 77-67 over Charlotte. And now 4 games remaining in the regular season. Can they take a 10-game winning streak into the Conference USA tournament? If they do that, they will more than likely have the double bye into the Conference USA quarterfinals with Old Dominion up next. Chris Hassel joined by Mike O'Donnell. Charlotte cut the lead for Western Kentucky to 2 a couple of times in the second half, but as Coach Rick Stansberry joins us now, Coach, your team always had an answer, and I don't know what you've done these last couple of weeks. You've taught your team to shoot the ball better.
Well, I wish it was that simple. Give those guys all the credit. You know, we're zeroed in, playing pretty well. Charlotte's a hard team to defend. You guys know that. They spread that court out and run that motion and wear you out. Absolutely wear you out. And we got beat on back cuts more tonight. We've gotten beat all year long. First time up there, I think we got beat 1 time on a back cut tonight. They'll see in the film was probably 8 or 10 of them. But like you said, our guys, they made a run at us, cut it to 2, we responded. David McKnight was terrific. You know, you look at field goal percentage, we held them to 42% for the game. We shoot 55% again. Got to the free throw line more the second half. Halftime, they was beating us in that stat. But again, you know, we play a couple different ways. We play small and play big. And, you know, Jarris was playing really well for us and got tired and went small and played small with Jamar in that stretch and found a way.
And Coach, I know you're always focusing 1 game at a time, 1 practice at a time, but Davion McKnight with 22 points, 5 assists. National conversation around him is a little too quiet in my opinion. How would you assess his game so far this season?
Well, I've said this many times. You guys have heard me say this. I've had some pretty good point guards over my life, some real good ones. I wouldn't trade him for anybody I've ever had or really any other point guard anywhere. He's the same every day. No matter if he's scoring 2 points or 20 points, where you're playing 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night. And he's going to be one of the toughest guys on the court. And the thing with his game, it's improved this year that last year he couldn't do. He's got that mid-range game. When he gets so he can make some threes, like he did at the end of the first half, his game goes to a whole nother level because he's hard to keep out of that paint.
Speaking of threes, Jamarion Sharp has not attempted a three-pointer this season. He leads the country in blocks. He leads the country in dunks. We saw him take a three at shoot-around today. When are we going to see that in a game?
Well, don't hold your breath on that to happen.
He
Trust
made
me.
it.
I know he made it. He reminds me of that, too. So I don't think he's quite ready for that this year. Maybe in time he will be.
Nah, it's fun to see him play. It's fun to watch you guys play. Basically just 6 players out there going 30-plus minutes a game, and things are working for you with your 6th straight. Congrats.
Well, we got good rhythm, good chemistry. Those guys play hard together. We don't always play perfect. We're playing hard together. We got a lot of different little pieces. It can be difficult to defend at certain times.
All right, Coach. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks for letting us back. Before the game, he said, hey, we don't want to see you guys, because we had them a lot during that 5-game losing streak,
Right,
you know,
right,
Mike. But
right.
Now we're back on the winning side, according to Coach Rick Stansbury. Fun game tonight between Western Kentucky and Charlotte. Boy, those 49ers just did not die easy. Mike, they stayed in this game with second-chance opportunities. You see the offensive rebounding numbers, 11-1. But in the end, the shooting was too good for Western Kentucky. 55% for the floor, 58% from outside. 6 straight for the Toppers. For Mike O'Donnell and our entire crew, I'm Chris Hassel. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Creighton at DePaul coming up after an update from our New York studio. Good night from Bowling Green.